Down on the inside. Cody's not going to give me a right I give up. Cody's a camera angle. There it is. Oh, wheel to wheel.
Great racing. They could go side by side.
In Sector 2, someone's having some issues as Oops looks to be going around the outside of Alfred here. Now he's got the inside line. This is a very difficult section to go wheel to wheel to. Got to leave each other just enough space, but not easy. We're going to hop on board with Tim to get some front row action of this battle that's going on. Alfred squeezing Oops right into the wall, but Oops just fine.
P1, or the front at least, seems to be a cursed position in this race today. Maybe you only want to be in the lead on the final lap. Karen will fight it with what DRS he's got, and he is. Oh, hanging in there. Cut out to the outside. Comes the inside of the next corner. Karen is still there. Trying to muscle his way through. They're still side by side. Karen should have that position. There's no way of going around the outside there, and he does hold on to that position. That was a brilliant piece of defense by Karen.
We're not going there. We're not going there. Acty's going somewhere right now, trying to get past Sully. Remember, Acty's trying to defend as many points. He's trying to minimize the damage of points that he has currently, because he knows, damn it. Oh, and there's a spin. There's a bit of a tap. There was some tapping going on. It's Acty, all right. And he's not acting anymore. He's serious. And that's not the state.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Mr. Rickety, and alongside me today we have the other veteran in the league that's also been racing for 10 years. Man, we're getting old. Lars, welcome to the commentary box.
Hehe. Fidget spinner go nyum.
Yeah.
No, hello everyone. Hello. I asked for the gift specifically. That's my mind right now.
Of course. And GIFs work in Streamlabs, so it's absolutely great. But yeah,
you should have not imparted that knowledge upon me. You have no idea what I'm going to do in the streams from now on. Good lord.
Well, we're here, and Lars, being a long-time commentator, of course, is joining me today. And we are just going to discuss a bit of Season 5, and Season 5 is right upon us. And we actually do have the dates for the start next season. It will start next week, starting Wednesday to Thursday, depending on what tier you're in. And I just want to make a bit of a disclaimer here. Not everyone made the cut to a tier, but we didn't want to open a third tier for the sake of it just being 10 or 9 people in it. And it will be fairly unbalanced because some people that are quite quick, that hasn't done TT, that will automatically be put in tier 3 because, no TT. They would probably be, 20 seconds ahead of the next car. Something that we don't want. And, Lars, I don't think for any driver they want to be behind 20 seconds from the car ahead.
No, I mean, it is a shame. I mean, based on what you have said there, I'm assuming we had about 50 signups, or 50 submitted time trials, I should say. We obviously have people who sign up and then, unfortunately, for whatever reason, they can't make it, or it doesn't, their time trials don't work out or whatever. But it did, obviously, very cutthroat, much like Real F1, so we're certainly emulating that. And obviously, it's a shame that we can't have everyone in here, unless F1 makes 3-car teams a thing. But it does ensure, as you've said, from what it sounds like, we'll have 2 full competitive grids. And of course, I'm sure those 10 drivers or so will be happy to be a reserve. There are going to be people who drop out throughout the year. It's inevitable. Yeah. So there's no, it's not all over for them yet. It's not all over for them yet.
So the full-time seats are up for grabs for everyone that is reserves, and like you said before, not everyone is going to complete the whole season. So immediately when a seat becomes open and you're on active reserve, you will be approached by the team about the seat. But
Can we
also,
just
yeah,
clarify on that? I'm assuming the way it works is if the driver misses 3 races, they get bumped down to reserve.
70
or they-
if they miss more than they need to at least have 70% attendance rate. If I remember correctly. So we just have to calculate that. But we do have racing conditions, and the racing condition is as follows: for a Challenger series, we got short qualifying, so the 18-minute standard short qualifying. Of course, we're gonna stick it to dynamic weather and 50% race. As always, we're not gonna go for the 35% as eSport does it. But we are sticking with 50% because I think that will give a lot of different strategies, and a lot can happen with safety car. And also something new, if you have read our website, we do have red flags in this season. I don't think it's going to be enabled for the first couple of races though, because from what I've heard, it might still be quite bugged.
for God's sake,
but-
really?
Yeah, I've heard that red
For
flags.
crying out Cody's, you did this in 2012. You had red flags in F1 2012 when I started racing, and you didn't mess up. How are you able to mess up 10 years later?
The thing is, I think the red flags before pre-patch was what am I trying to say? You would be put in a different position than when the red flags was deployed. And also a different racing finishing position. But that has been fixed. But I think the issue now is that it will be more trigger happy with the safety cars. Anyways, this is for the Challenger series. And of course, moving on to Pro Series is going to be completely different. So if you do end up in Pro
Real
Series...
quick, Glenn, no, we are not doing full race distance, you absolute madman. Never in a month of Sundays.
For Pro Series, we have full qualifying, so we have Q1, Q2, and Q3, dynamic weather, and 50% race distance. So it's the standard as well for Pro Series. So Pro Series will have to stick and sweat to their seats a bit longer than the Challenger people have to deal with. But yeah, that's how it looks like right now, and of course calendar is looking mad exciting, at least from my point of view. Lars, which race are you looking forward to this season?
I haven't actually seen the calendar. This is all completely new to me. Despite hopping in the commentary booth, I am very much in the dark. So let's,
He doesn't know the grid either. So
No, that's okay. I don't even know what tier I'm in, so this is all new for me as well. You're riding along with me. So let's just have a quick through. I mean, Bahrain's a classic. You know, it's a nice, easy one to start with. Get everyone settled in. You know, and it's good. It's good crack for racing. It'd be certainly maybe not as popular this year with DRS being as overpowered as it is, particularly down that long back straightaway. But still looks to be a good one. Imola
it makes racing exciting though.
Imola, I absolutely love. It's a classic. Azerbaijan, I'm 50-50 on, but I know a lot of people in the league enjoy it. Again, with the power of slipstream, it might be a little bit less popular this year. Spain, I'm massively looking forward to. The rework of the third sector has made the track just so much more enjoyable. And with the new handling of the cars, you can really, really hook the guts out of these cars and just full on send it around the track.
Absolutely.
Portugal, I've only heard from yourself that it might not be too popular among the drivers. Apparently, it's not brilliant with the handling.
Thank you, Rocco.
UK, well, it's legendary, let's be real.
Classic.
And always seems to put on a good show. Monza, Temple of Speed, you can't go wrong with it. Belgium, can't go wrong with that either, unless it's raining. Austria, everyone sweated in time trial, but again, with the reworks, it seems to have been quite popular. Singapore, I'm 50-50. It's a decent enough track.
It's gonna get a new layout though by the time we get there. If the layout hasn't changed, I know that it's gonna be pushed further into the calendar. If the new layout hasn't been implemented, so Qatar can take its place and Singapore can be moved way back. But yeah, new track.
Speaking of Qatar, I don't know. What do you think about Qatar?
I've done one league race there. It's amazing. I just love it. You can go side by side pretty much throughout the whole track. DRS, yes, like you said, is a bit more powerful as well. And something that I've said about Qatar is easy to drive, hard to master. So it's going to be really
that's what we
exciting.
sort of look for, so it doesn't like make anyone feel alienated, but gives them the drive to try it. Mexico, I like the track well enough. I still think the third sector is absolute mess, to be quite honest, but it's a small enough part of it. It's a decent track to go around, although difficult enough to overtake on. Again, unless you're using Slipstream DRS. USA Kota, probably slowly overtaking Indianapolis is my favorite US track that F1 has run.
Yay!
It does keep growing on me, and even like with the way Sector 1 is with this year's cars with much more grip and the confidence that people are going to have going through there, it's going to be so much more fun. 2022, everyone was like on a knife edge through Sector 1 thinking, am I going to lose the rear? Am I going to lose the rear?
That is
and
actually
quite a few people did. So
I remember.
with the more grippy cars, that should be a lot more fun. Las Vegas, I haven't heard good things about. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I haven't heard good things about Vegas.
Well, we gotta travel to Vegas. We gotta.
Yeah,
It's
nice job getting the state flag though. I appreciate that. That's good.
course.
That's good. Brazil, one of my all-time favorite tracks. I love Brazil. Forwards or backwards. I've driven it backwards for fun, and it's even good backwards. So
It is. I've tried it as
And
well.
Abu Dhabi never was one of my favorites, but again, the reworks have improved a lot. So on the whole, that's like a 90% good races on the calendar. And like I genuinely, that might be one of our best calendars. Genuinely, I think. Because you remember, of course, in the early days, we tried to follow it as much as possible. We had Monaco in there, for God's sake, and we had, all these tracks that we felt, well, we have to put these in to balance it out. But listening to the drivers over time and still come up with this calendar where it's challenging but still enjoyed by everyone.
The thing is with the calendar.
This is looking really good.
The thing is with the calendar, we're always strive for the best possible racing that we can possibly have. So obviously, Monaco is going to be a bit in the shadows because Monaco is a really difficult track to overtake. But overall, this is a track, a calendar that will provide great racing throughout the whole season.
Just looking at the chat there, TC Mustache arguing that Las Vegas is great. He's obviously biased, being the American of the server.
I can't wait seeing someone from P20 going 5 wide with someone in P1.
Well, you say that, and then immediately on the other, Catastrophe is saying Las Vegas is as slippery as a wet marble floor.
He's not wrong.
And he's on controller as well, which is meant to have improvements to help you with stability.
Yeah.
For this year's game. Which explains why, even with all assists on, the guy was going faster than most of us in the time trials. So,
well,
he'll be one to watch. But yeah, I haven't driven it at all yet. I'll be brutally honest. I was sweating the time trials too much. I'll give it a go probably before the season starts. It's a mixed bag. I've heard Las Vegas, but if that's the only bogey track we get out of the 16 excellent tracks that I see on here, we'll be doing all right. We'll be doing great.
Yeah, and talking about closer racing as well. We're keeping the point system.
Yes.
We're absolutely keeping the point system from last season. We had a really close finish in Challenger 1 last season, separating only with 2 or 1 point, if I remember correctly. Of course, fastest lap in the top 10, you get 1 extra point. But basically, this is what a lot of leagues has been running in competitive leagues has been running, and we adapted it to our league as well. And, it just brings the grid so much closer. You won't lose out if you DNF too much. You will still be in the title hunt as much as possible if you are competitive in the grid, that is. So
it does make me wonder why real life F1 ever got rid of the old 2004, 2006 sort of point system, because that was the top 8, and it went 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it was, the points were really close there.
Yeah.
A rework of that would have been really good, because as we've proven in our own little experiment here, having that just points even this much closer does make for a closer championship, as opposed to a winner getting 25 and 7 points more every weekend. So,
yeah.
And speaking of the points, can I just clarify, and this sort of links back to the calendar, do we have sprint races this year?
Right. Thank you for bringing that up. I forgot to actually talk about it. We will not have sprint races this year because the new sprint race system hasn't been implemented in the game, so we decided to drop the sprint races. And also because it just took a lot of time and, lobby restarts depending on what was happening on the race. So we're dropping sprint races for this season. We'll see if we're gonna do it next season, but I highly doubt. So that's why the point system for the sprint races is not on the screen. We're dropping the sprint races for this season.
We're going old school, boys.
We're going old
Closer
school.
point system, no sprint races. What next? One shot qualifying?
Baby. No.
Hey, I've heard people advocate for it.
I have heard that as well. But we're not going to keep you guys too much longer without showing you the grid. And, well, the next segment is going to be the lineup announcement. So if you've been sticking with us for this long, then, well, you're about to see it. And hopefully you are in it. Of course, it's going to be a bit of a hard thing to take if you did not make the cut, but obviously you need to
It's going to be very awkward if I'm not in it and I'm sitting here in the com box next to you.
Yeah, no, Lars is pro. He's challenging for the World Driver Championship next season.
You know what? Just give me the trophy now. Why don't
Yeah.
jerkity? You know, just
No,
can I actually bring that up before we show it? I know I'm delaying here, but do we have a prize? I know last year there was talk of a prize for pro. Do we have prizes this year?
we do
Or is
have
this
prizes this year. For what it is, as of yet, I cannot reveal, but more
We
information
do
will
have
come
prizes.
out. We do have prizes. It's gonna come
Fair
out
enough.
in the website, if anything.
Ah, okay.
But obviously, we do want to move on to the lineups. And guys, if you've been sticking around for this long, yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed this little segment coming up next. We won't keep you for too much longer. We'll talk about the lineups after, and we'll be joined by one of the drivers as well.
From me.
And obviously, yeah, it's hopefully everyone got in their teams that they wanted to be in. Like, you know, you had a choosing between 3 teams. So obviously we'll try to make it as fair as possible, but without holding on to you guys too much longer, here's the grid. Enjoy. Right. So that was the lineups for next season, and obviously we're gonna move on to the lineups. And we'll start off with Challenger Series, and obviously you didn't expect him, but TC is back as well with Aston Martin. Oh, hold on. Hold on. They can't hear you. I need to get you back in here. Just give me a sec. For some reason they deleted that. All right. Now you're here. Hi. Welcome back. I might as well bring in Katja Sofias in as well, the Ferrari driver for Pro Series. Katas. Well, Katas, welcome to the Combox, and we're gonna talk about the grid. And we can start off with Challenger. You two have been driving with a lot of these people before. Some people have made the grand return after taking a bit of a absence from F1 22, but some of them has returned. David, aka No Fail No Game, is returning now. He got the Red Bull seat, Magnetech in Red Bull as well. So Red Bull, pretty strong lineup in Challenger. I know that Nofel has definitely some good pace in this year's game. Magnetech as well, wanting to make his grand return, a spectacular one, and none better than the Red Bull seat. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a 30-second delay, I think. Should be. Wait, we just gotta... Wait, let's give it a sec. Wait, Lars, give me a sec. No, apparently they can't hear you. Need to, apparently... We'll sort that out. Yeah, it showed up here for us, but give me a second, I'll sort it out. Should be able to hear now. Should be. I'm just gonna double check the stream. Yeah. Give me a sec. No, can't hear you still. For some odd reason, I can't hear you. Very, very odd indeed. Yeah, but it's hitting the red. It should. If they hear me, they should hear you. We give it a try with this. Because I have different outtakes as well.
Test 1 2.
Hello. We'll have to wait 30 seconds to hear the result.
Yeah.
I think I know the reason why. No, I don't. Never mind. Then we'll switch it over to Combox.
You get the Discord. Here we go.
I think.
Well, I can hear myself down the mic now, so.
Yep.
So that should be loud now, so we can hear it now, yeah.
So I have a Steel Series. So I have a knob that switches over to Discord audio and game audio. and I don't know. Sometimes it gets tangled, but now you should be able to hear. But yeah, Red Bull.
Look, hey, Rickety, the less I hear about your knob tangling, the better. Okay.
So Red Bull, we just summarizing what we've said. They're a strong lineup. We all have raced them before. Both of us, Katas and Lars, and of course me. We have raced them. They're clean racers, or try the best to be clean at least. But from what I know, they're good racers, and Red Bull looking strong next season for
they're clean.
Challenger Series. Yeah.
They start once a day.
And yeah, we move on to Ferrari. Of course, your compatriots.
It's your old stomping ground, isn't it, Castro? You were Catastro, weren't you Ferrari?
Well, he's
last
Ferrari
season?
now again.
And you're Ferrari again. This is your boys, the Maranello lads.
Yeah.
Ferrari
Roham
boys, of course.
and Tynus.
I have
Now,
raced Roham. I've raced Tynus. Tynus and me go
Roham
way
was
back.
Roham was Academy last season, wasn't he?
Did we have a cut? No, we had.
No,
No, we did.
it was way before.
Yeah. Well, Roham made a cut at least. I mean, he shows that he got the pace. It's in the Ferrari, of course. Tynus.
Who was it?
Hold
Hold on. Who was it? Who was it? I'm thinking of. Because I'm trying to think. 'cause-
Rohi and Roham are the same person, in case.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. There you go. So this is where the confusion with your names comes in. Every time I try to host a lobby with the fucking EA names, it drives me nuts. No, I haven't raced Roham too much personally.
Tynus-
Although I have seen good pace from him. Tynus, I remember racing.
Tynus and me go way back. We've been
Was
racing
Tynus
for a
not?
long
Hold on,
time.
or am I mixing up? Was Tynus the one that we had beef with back in 21?
What you
I
had
think
beef
so.
with.
Yeah, I think so.
Me,
Yes.
me and TC.
Because we
wasn't
were
it?
driving together. So
Yes.
Yeah, what
probably
was-
yes.
Was it, or was it? Because it was Tynus and
Verkins.
Verkins, yes. And I remember that went all the way down to the finale in Abu Dhabi for
Constructors.
third. It was for third place
No,
in the drivers because TC had a chance to overhaul.
In the
And let's just say
Mercedes.
the elbows were put out by both sides that day. So something to watch for. Tynus is not afraid to be aggressive.
Yeah.
No,
but-
not that he does it unfairly. Not that he tries to be unfair. That's not what I'm saying. But if you expect an easy move on Tynus, you are looking to get kicked by that prancing red horse
Yeah.
because he
Max,
will not
Max.
let you. He will not let you go by easy. He will not let you go by easy. So something to watch for there. An aggressive driver, but that's what we like to see is good hard racing.
Dixie and Dynas is in Mercedes. Dixie I've raced before, way back in F1 2019, where we were teammates at Mercedes actually.
Is this Dixie's first time and Dino's first time in Power
This is
F1, or their
Dino's.
replacement?
Dino's first time in Power F1, Dixie's first time as well. But we raced together in a previous league before. Dixie, from what I know from experience.
That's
is
interesting. So
really
we've got, you've put all the new blood in one team. Interesting. Well, there's not much we can say about that then because I
Oh, we
haven't
have to
seen
say
too
something
much.
about them.
Well, but I haven't seen too much of them. You know.
All right,
Fellow
so-
Greek.
Dynas is a fellow Greek. Yeah.
It's-
I remember we went through this. But also Dixie, I have raced him before. He is a clean racer. We did win the constructors 2 times, I think. Yeah. Overall, he's just a very good driver. And Dynas, of course, he's a new driver, so we don't have too much information on him. But people that we have a lot of information on is Cosmonaut and Thomas D. Cosmonaut stepping in McLaren back in F1 2021 when I was fighting for the championship. And Thomas, of course, making his grand return to Alpine yet again. Mr. Thomas D, as some people know him as well. Not had the greatest last season, but
Where was he in the time standings?
I
we're
think it
looking
was
at those information.
29th.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's he's clearly found the game
Yeah.
much more comfortable this year as well. If he's 29th overall in the standings for the time trials,
Yes.
that's very impressive.
Just
so
to answer Glenn as well, I forgot to mention this. So Challenger is gonna be racing on Wednesdays.
that's fine by me.
Pro Series are gonna do Thursdays. But yeah, you guys have a lot of experience with Thomas and Cosmonauts. We
Also,
all
he was
been racing
34th.
together.
Don't look up the previous streams.
Yeah. Anywho,
Yeah.
he got his chance back. He's returning, and he's gonna make the most of it. And he's gonna prove himself. He's gonna prove
I
all
mean-
of us wrong. So
I mean, it worked for Simon Pagenaud, so
Yeah. Best of luck to the Alpine team. I mean, it is a strong team going into the 5th season. Resser Bolar, Bolar Tickling Sensei. has
Bowler
his
Tickling
team.
Sensei,
Yeah.
which is still the weirdest name I've ever heard on Discord. I love it.
McLaren, fellow Swede in a McLaren, Mr. Resser. Bolar, I don't know who he is from. I don't think I've raced him too much.
Was that your personal appointment there, Resser? Is this like the Hakkinen passing over to Raikkonen sort of scenario here?
If
We've
Resser
got-
wants to continue to race as long as I have, then yeah, sure. Why
We've got the Swedes passing the torch instead of the Finns this time.
not? Strong lineup from McLaren. Resser is we did race together in the World Cup 2 seasons ago. Very solid driver, all in all. You know, just good in the corners, good in defending, good in attacking. Not much you can say about him, but since he hasn't really done much racing here, but he's been good. Bowler, I don't know, I don't remember him. Is he new?
No, Bowler's been around
Oh.
for. Bowler's been around for about 3-4 seasons now. I think.
Yikes.
We're gonna
I'm
get
sorry.
into trouble now. Yeah, me too. I also have the memory of a goldfish, so
Yeah.
I hardly remember anyone. Like when the season ends, it's like my memory gone. The hard
Yeah.
drive's completely rebooted. So
Bowler saying he's Dutch. He's a Dutchie.
Bowler is a Dutchie.
Indeed, only raced you once, USA last season.
Did he write this?
You might be
in,
talking to Thomas D there, but
okay.
because they were chatting in the Discord.
Yeah.
But yeah,
of course.
is this another new fresh blood lineup for Alfa Romeo? we've got here?
Voids, I've seen race before. Chris Wiggle is new though. I don't remember him too much, I'll be honest.
Shout outs to another Chris in the chat.
Yeah.
Yo,
Hi, who is in here?
what?
Did someone else
What?
join?
no.
No.
Okay, I thought someone else joined.
Is someone playing soundboard or something? Do we have soundboard on here?
No,
Nope,
don't
we
don't
have,
do
but
any
we don't do
soundboards,
it.
please. Alright, it's muted for me. Anyways, moving on. Aston Martin. Wait, sorry, we didn't go through Alfa Romeo too much. But Voids, I've
well,
seen race
as you
before.
say, like, but that's what I love about this as well. Like you're saying, we didn't go through Aston Martin, but again, you know, they're sort of fresh blood to Power F1, which
Alfa
is what we
Romeo.
like to see. It's a blank slate, you know. So
Yeah.
they could be well up there, you know, 50 seconds up the road. They could be battling with us constantly. They might be midfield. They might be towards back. We don't know until we actually get them out there.
Exactly. And
It's
now,
a blank slate.
for the
makes more
main
sense.
event, for the people who keeps getting unlucky and spun out in F1 22,
Oh, hush up.
we
I
have
wonder who you're talking about.
Mr. Lars and Mr.
You know the
TC
way we keep
Gaming.
saying, like, I'm the Kimi Räikkönen of this league? No, Räikkönen wasn't that lucky. Do you know what I am? I'm Luca Badour. I'm fucking Luca Badour of this league. There's an old reference for anyone who watches F1. Go look up the poor sod. That's me. In a
So,
nutshell.
Lars, you are
Um,
returning with an old teammate of yours. Of course, TC
Yes, I
has been
am.
racing alongside you for many moons now, and you guys have not yet shown up for too much success, but you guys have shown glimpses of success, and I'm talking about the wins here and there, and of course the Monza. I remember the P2 in Monza you got when
That
we were
was
in the
that
same
was
team.
my final year on controller.
Yeah.
So
And now you're
I'm
making your
going-
grand return together with Aston Martin as well.
best team.
And
best team.
Alonso,
Um,
the veteran that returns.
Yeah. You've been
Maybe.
racing now for a decade, Lars. and,
Over a decade, 11 years this
yeah.
year, because I started back with Williams in F1 2012, back in the Slipstreamers League, is where I first started.
So,
So-
Lars, are you looking forward to this season? Do you think that you have any
Oh,
shot
hell yeah.
of any title grabs today? I mean, today, this season.
I can't say anything until we actually get into the racing. But
Yeah.
given how much more comfortable I've been with the game, how, again, not trying to toot my own horn, seeing how surprisingly well from my view I've done in the time trials, and you know, when you do well and you see how close the field is, because the field was close in
Yeah,
the time
it
trials,
is.
from what we saw on the sheet. Are we able to get that? What was the sort of the range of the challenger drivers? So that was from 21 down to 40.
Yes. 1 second.
What was the sort of time range?
Katas will look into that. While he's doing that, we'll move on to...
Yeah, I'll finish my point just while I'm there. But like, you know, when you see the field that close and everyone's just really so hyped for this game, it gives you that drive, no pun intended, to actually
Yeah,
really go
course.
for it. And
Well, we're
if
starting
I'm
next
not
week.
winning the title this year, I can at least see it being a close run thing, and
Yeah,
you know,
with the
hopefully a
point
couple of
system
wins
as well.
And yeah,
I
a good
have that
haul.
answer.
You
About
have the
numbers.
times?
Yeah, so if you add everyone's time of all the 3 tracks, it's around 3-second difference from first to last.
Is that including the pros or from just the challenger
That's
side?
for the challenger.
Mm.
Only.
3 seconds ain't much. It's not much
It's
across
not.
all the tracks because you have tracks,
3
of
tracks.
course,
Yeah.
where some
So on
people are
average of
stronger
3
and some people are
seconds.
weaker.
So
That
obviously,
bodes well. That bodes well for like the whole grid. This looks to be a really close tier, which I'm loving the sound of because we all, as much as we all want to win,
yeah,
we're primarily here to
have fun.
race.
to have fun,
To have
race.
fun and to have good close racing, and that's what we
Exactly.
want. We don't want to be out in front by 20 seconds and just plodding in the laps.
Yeah, I'm looking at you,
because then the
Bradley.
win's meaningless. You want to fight for it. You want to
Looking
fight
at you,
for it.
Bradley. Anyways,
And to tone it out, actually,
Hey.
for the Pro Series, like I might be getting ahead right now, but for the Pro Series, around between 1.5 second difference first
What?
to last. So yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I am
we're
looking
getting to
forward
that
this
in a
season even
moment.
more.
Moving on to
mate.
Haas, Unstoppable and Lepson. Unstoppable has raced here before. Unstoppable hasn't had the greatest of championships in previous seasons. But of course, new game. This is a complete revamp of the game. He could be leading the field by 5 seconds. Who knows? Lepson as well.
Do you know where Unstoppable? Do you know where Unstoppable excels? And this is
Where
what
does he
always serves
excel?
him well is he's sensible.
Mm.
He is sensible, and much like his name is a pun on unstoppable, he is unstoppable. Half the field crashes in front, I'ma just keep going. That car spins out, I'ma just keep
Sounds a
going.
bit like
I'ma
me.
just keep going. I mean,
That's
if,
like
if I recall
Hamilton.
if I recall correctly, didn't Unstoppable win the award last year for most overtakes?
Yeah,
just
he did.
because he kept out of trouble.
Yeah,
Everyone else blew up, and he was like, "I'm just gonna keep on going here."
yeah.
And it serves him well. He very rarely DNFs, and if he's got even decent pace, if other cars are going to be getting into squabbles with each other and having crashes, he will be there to take advantage, and it will serve him well.
He's a
Like he
very
could be a
formidable
dark horse to
driver. I
watch.
do agree.
Genuinely, he
Yeah.
could be a dark horse.
Lepson as well. He's been rapid in previous games. Drop off in a little bit of pace since previous game, but Lepson, of course, I mean, he's the one to watch as well for the
I
championship.
mean, he left it to the 11th hour though, didn't he? I only saw the TTs being posted by him
Yeah,
like
he
2
did.
nights ago, I think.
He just made a cut as well. I had to make the graphics until like 4 in the morning yesterday. So,
That's why Lepson exists, is just to
Yeah.
troll you, Rickety. Let's be real here.
Myla and I don't know how to spell that name. Geese, I'm gonna say.
Jizz, Jizz.
Myla.
GIJs. We'll call them GIJs.
Myla, they are, I will
Black.
say, will be a bit of a dark horse as well because Myla, in a very good day, will fight for top 5 easily, especially with these new cars as well because like it just fits their driving style. And he's a new driver. Haven't seen him.
Yeah.
Don't know anything about him. All we can do is give thumbs up, hope for the best for the AlphaTauri team. We have Williams and Fanix next. I mean,
And
Jan.
Jan. You forgot what we
yeah.
forgot.
We got Williams, Jan and Fanix. Jan we raced before. He is a bit of a driver is a bit like Unstoppable. He picks up the places where there is an incident, but otherwise he just moves up the field quietly.
Again, though, we've seen how well that can help people because,
Yeah,
let's
exactly.
face it, based on previous seasons, pros sort of know their limits a bit. Challenger, very much like F2, is if you no longer go for a gap that is there, you're no longer a racing driver. You say as you T-bone half the field into Austria turn 2.
Exactly.
You know,
So,
so that's the thing. Like Challenger do really feel like they have something to prove, and with people dropping out, some of them may be thinking, "Oh, I could get promoted to the pro tier," so they will drive their hardest, and it can often lead to their undoing. And I say this as someone who's been in Challenger and done it myself. Particularly early on,
yeah.
I did overdrive the car. I did try to go for dumb moves.
Yeah.
Still
Well,
do on occasion. But if Jan and Unstoppable, in before they get a 1-2 at the first race of the season, just because everyone else blew up into turn 1 at Bahrain.
Yeah. Well, Jan is one of those drivers, like you said, about Unstoppable. So definitely look out for him when we do start streaming the races. And yeah, we'll try our best to start to stream the races. And there is a 90% chance that's going to happen, at least from my end, if Challenger needs a commentator.
Well, unfortunately, you're going to be losing out on me as a pro commentator then, because I can't do Thursdays.
Yeah,
Oh.
which is tough task, but we'll try to sort that out. Fanex, new driver, haven't seen him before, and much like Geese, that's right above him.
I'm calling him
thumbs up.
GIJs. I don't care. I'm calling him GIJs.
I agree.
Thumbs up.
DIJ is the way to go.
Hope for the best for Fanex and his debut season for POWERF1. Moving on to the main event of the week, though, we do have.
But yeah, one sec. But as Lars pointed out, consistency in motorsport and generally in sim racing is like the key to go.
It's key.
Yeah, it's the key. Like you
George
can win
Russell
races.
said it. Consistency is key.
It's true for real life as well. I mean, again, drawing on my own real life experience from previous F1 seasons, because I am the old man of the league. I've been watching F1 since the turn of the millennium. 2003, we had a three-way title fight between Schumacher, Montoya, and Raikkonen. Even though Schumacher won 6 races that season, Kimi was still in the fight to the final round. He only won 1 race, but he was consistently up the top.
Sounds a bit like my championships.
Because of that, he took it down to the final round. So it's not a stretch for someone to possibly even win a championship without winning a race. You know, if you're consistent and you're constantly up in the top 5 or top 4 or 3, you don't have to win one, because if someone can say, oh well, I won a race, and then they could blow up 3 races in a row.
Exactly.
And there's 75 points down the drain.
Well, moving on to the main event. It's the main event of the week. It's the Pro Series, of course. And the grid is looking very, very spicy, at least for constructors and, driver championship, first of all. But we got Bradley and Mali in the Red Bull. And Bradley, he's been a force to be reckoned with in previous season. And Mali...
You've literally just gone and got Max Verstappen, haven't you? He's actually Max Verstappen.
Bradley is back in the Red Bull. Mali, another Swede, by the way, is returning. Did take a brief pause from F1 2021, and then didn't race for us in 22. Returning to us in 23. Looking like a very good lineup indeed. And I'm just going to speed up the process as well, so we don't take too much time. Katis Rufias, you're returning to Ferrari. And your teammate is JTK, not in Haas.
Of course. As requested, pretty much. I mean, yeah, for me, I can comment. Of course, you can comment on me, but I would say that I like consistency, as previous seasons have shown. Like, I've won races, but in the end of the day, I was like 5th, 6th on the championship because, DNS.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're on the controller this year still, aren't you?
Did it surprise me though after the Belgium clip?
They've
I
given
saw?
you the...
Yeah, that was a really good race.
Castro, you'll be winning this year. Cody's gave you the buff on the controller this year, so...
I'll be expecting you fighting Bradley.
I was going to say, I'm looking at your time trial. I'm looking at your time trial, like traction control and ABS and automatic gearing. I'm like, how the flip are you doing these times?
Not traction control.
Oh wait, no, you didn't. Sorry, my bad.
So,
but you did have automatic gearing.
Improvements.
Moving on to the Mercedes team. It is the familiar face of Percy Gilly, the Flying Finn, and James Taylor, Ergodog, in the second seat.
Does he actually want to be referred to as James T this year?
He did do that in the sign-up, so...
Echo. People are saying Echo.
We're putting
it feels weird. It's like he's role playing. It's like I'm going to have my proper name on the league here.
Yeah, well, James and Percy has been the 2 most unluckiest driver I think I've come across in Pro Series, at least, because
I was going to say, what about me?
Yeah, because Percy and James, they've been in this fight for wins, but they just haven't finished the job.
Yeah,
there's a lot left on the table to do, and of course they have their own little team principal / engineer in the owner of the league, George. And after Monza, he was not too happy. I remember that. He left in a huff. Hopefully, though, for the Mercedes team, they can bring back some glory to the Black Arrow, as everyone refers the car to now. Moving on though from
actually,
the
can I just say real quick?
James is also the only lineup that stayed the same between seasons.
Yeah.
And I don't think this has ever happened.
Completely.
Like, hardly happened.
No, it has
before.
happened. TC and Lars.
It has happened. Oh yeah.
Me
oh
and
yeah.
We were in Haas last year, but now we've given up on the Americans and we're moving to the British now.
Yeah,
So,
Percy and James actually stayed on the same team also.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
props, props to the
also-
other team for making that happen.
Also, God forgive them. The internet has ruined me with memes. But because you said Percy and James, all I could think of was Thomas the Tank Engine.
Right.
Percy and
Damn.
James.
Moving
Anyway,
on to Alpine.
moving on indeed.
Gamma B
Ooh.
must be the darkest horse there is in a grid ever. 'Cause-
I'd say the lightest horse, to be honest, because early on in the time trials, dude was rapid.
No,
Like,
but
he
I'm
was
saying
all
this
ahead.
as a Gamma B. No one expects him to be where he is, but he is there.
I disagree with that, honestly. Gamma did show a lot of I mean, he was in the fight for the title last year, albeit he has.
He lost out in the final 4 rounds, I think.
It was a penultimate race. I think he had a problem with one of the Alpha Tauris. I think he was saying was the fault in that one. But Gamma is really rapid. Like
Gamma is
so
rapid.
he's one to definitely watch.
He has
absolutely.
he has very good race pace as well, and he could definitely fight for the win in this league this season.
Hold up, stop the presses. Hold on, Castro. I need you to respond to this. Have you seen what? Castro. Catastrophe.
Yeah,
I need you to respond. This Stathis Monachos, I think, is that how you say his name? Saying, I think Catastropheus will crumble under pressure.
I agree. He's washed. Tatis is washed.
Stathis.
He's
Your
completely
take on that, sir? Your take?
That's a
your
friend
thoughts?
of mine. Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I mean,
I fully agree.
what?
He will
Thank you,
crumble under pressure, and he will start dive bombing people again
No,
from
I'll
a
tell you
different
one
zip
thing.
code.
I
Last
stole
season,
my gearbox
Belgium.
replaced from Brazil, by the way.
Last season, Belgium, I started the race and I had rear wing damage. I continued on the race with a lucky safety car also. Rear wing damage on F122, and I end up second.
How did you even get rear wing damage?
How do you think?
That's a different story. That's a different story, but
Yeah.
I got it.
Well, I'm not gonna speak too much about myself moving on to McLaren, but I am gonna speak about Rocco having the most.
I'm going to say, I'll speak for you then.
Okay, go ahead.
You've literally won like 3 titles in a row. So, to discount yourself would be completely out of the question. I do think you're going to be having to work a heck of a lot harder for it this year, though, looking at the lineup.
I'm completely washed, mate. But someone who isn't washed is Rocco. And I'm telling you what, he had the most unluckiest season end last season. Everything needed to fall into place for me to win the championship last season. And of course, Rocco was in AlphaTauri now. And now we're teammates. Rocco, very unlucky in the final race. And obviously, a very quick driver. He is, I think, 4th in time trials.
God.
In
Can we, at the end, can we actually go through the top 10 of the time trials?
Sure,
Do you
I'm not
want me
part
to
of
tell
it. Not now. We'll do it at the end.
Not now, at the end.
Okay.
All right,
Because
but that's the
closest we'll
McLaren
get to-
team.
It's the closest we'll get to like a seeding system.
I'll let you guys talk about McLaren for a bit because I'm part of it and it feels a bit biased if I start talking about it.
I mean, we've kind of already said what we need to.
The worst team, worst driver, a decent driver, Rocco. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I've had the pleasure / displeasure of racing you two for must be 3 seasons now in the same tier.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's right.
Ricky, we never met often on track, although when we did, it was always good racing. I know in the last wee montage that you did, there was a great battle between us at Silverstone.
Yeah.
That was in 21. I remember that battle. Rocco, I've had a bit more of a closer experience with. I remember early on in that 21 season, we were constantly fighting for the podium. I think he had to drop out of the second half of that season due to unforeseen circumstances. But we always had good fights, so I know that you're both clean most of the time, Ricky. Cough, cough.
What do you mean? Where have I have not a single penalty point to my name.
I'm kidding.
Now this is where I draw the line.
He's admin.
Admin abuse. Michael Massey's back.
Let's not stick to McLaren too much now. Moving on, we got Alfa Romeo, Spaghetti, and Chewy. Chewy has been on and off in every season, but he's been rapid in time trial this season from what I've seen, and so has Spaghetti. Both of them we raced, and both of them I don't know. I just have good things to say about them.
It's just great to see, and I can always also imagine the looks, and particularly on your face, Rickety, probably when you started these time trials, because you're thinking obviously like the past couple of seasons, and then you suddenly see all these people who were, let's be honest, nowhere near you last season, and then suddenly they've all come up behind you in your rear view, and it's like, oh
Well,
flip,
we're getting
you're all,
old,
like,
Lars.
right
That's
here
the
with
thing.
me.
It's soon time for us to retire. That's the thing.
Speak for yourself. I'm doing an Alonso. I'm going to go on till Alonso's going to go on till he's flipping 60, and even then he's probably going to race online.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I must say, like Rocco, like for example, that is, I used to lap 2 seconds faster than him in a different league before back in 21, and now he's just, rapid. I can say the same about Spaghetti and Chewy. They've been sort of, not been challenging for the wins at the, start of the seasons and whatever, and now they're returning. At the end of the season, they really had some good pace. Chewy wasn't part of last season, but we did some open lobbies in POWERF1 not too long ago, and Chewy was quite rapid. A bit unlucky at times because being crashed out, we just have fun, etc. But he's been
to be fair,
rapid in time trial.
To be fair, there was nothing fun about running default setups. I
Yeah,
still
it's-
curse whoever was in charge of the lobby.
It's
running
Rocco.
around.
It was Rocco.
Tell Rocco I want his head on a silver platter because default setups are just
He here. Anyways, Aston Martin, where I got no one else can pronounce it except me, Nerestaya, because I am Swedish and he's Finnish.
What does that
Nerestaya,
translate to?
no idea. He's Finnish. I'm Swedish.
You just said Swedish.
No, he's Finnish and I'm Swedish. So,
So how can you read what it says?
because we have the same alphabet with the A and 2 dots above. Nerestaya. Anyways, Nerestaya, very quick driver, indeed. And he's
The fastest driver.
the fastest driver in time
Yeah.
trial. Yeah.
Was he fastest in time trials? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's paired up with another one who challenged Bradley in F122. So
Yeah.
we cannot give him enough credit. It's Mr. Jan. And this is a very strong lineup. And I remember we were making the grid yesterday, and all we could think about was Aston Martin is gonna be extremely powerful this season.
Actually, we said that's the constructors championship right there.
Yeah, exactly. We even
Well, now
said
you know what me and Mustache have to do. Now we have the drive for it. We're going to make an Aston Martin clean sweep across both years.
we might as well give them the trophy now. Yeah.
We
So
haven't thought of that. Yeah, change teams. Right.
all right, but yeah, Jan, Nerestaya, absolutely rapid drivers, and the whole grid has the word cut out for them. So it's going to be extremely difficult for anyone to win the constructors, but there is going to be a fight. Yeah, it might be one-sided, might not be. They are really good drivers overall. Just can say good things about them. What time does the race start? So
Actually, Jan, we have a fun fact for Jan.
okay,
For his wheel.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he kind of blew up, burnt.
Oh,
If you remember.
yeah.
No,
I think I did.
last season, Jan's wheel just decided to.
Oh,
wheel.
yeah,
Right.
and he decided to take a bit of a hiatus. But Jan, honestly, for the races we did see him in, absolutely rapid, wasn't he? Nerestaya, of course, returning after taking a bit of a hiatus from F1 21 from 22, and then returning to Power F1 as well. I mean, it's gonna be an exciting season overall. And talking about exciting as well, we got Haas, Suyan, and Mr. Casito. And Casito, being an academy last season, made his way all the way up to Pro Series in one season.
That's a glow up there.
There is
Isn't
a
that,
glow.
didn't he just end up in academy because he showed up a bit late last season?
No. He had
Oh.
the times for academy. And Suyan, my old dearest teammate, very unlucky last season. All he could get was disconnects. But when he was in the race, he was constantly fighting for the win. And I think we all saw that. It's just a bit sad with the disconnects and everything. But all in all, solid team as well. And I think that's the team that me and Rocco is going to fight for whatever place we're going to end up fighting for.
Are you just conceding first to Aston Martin, like right now? Like,
Yeah. I'm bowing down to Aston Martin. Unless Aston Martin is having a horrendous season, I don't see us fighting them too much.
Well, let me put it this way though. Like, yeah, you're thinking like, oh, they're going to win the constructors because they're the two quickest drivers. But then there's no team orders in this game.
There is none.
Yeah,
Oh,
kinda.
So who's to say they won't be tripping up over each other? You know,
hopefully, fingers
on the
crossed.
way to the title.
But moving on to the next lineup, and just like
Actually,
in real life.
Rickety, one sec, sorry, Rickety,
Yeah,
but
go on.
Rickety said Sweden was one of the unlucky drivers. Do you remember what driver he also said that to? Rocco. I
Yeah.
see a connection here with Rickety's teammates being unlucky.
Yeah.
Hmm,
Well,
So
funny that.
if
Only
it continues
21
like
so.
that, Rickety, I don't see you finding a teammate anytime soon.
Colors of Fierce, if you start spitting out in Crash, then we'll be teammates.
No.
No, okay. Well, moving on to AlphaTauri, just like in real life, we have a Daniel in the seat.
Hey,
Daniel
yeah, shouts
returning
for
in real
news.
life, replacing
Yep.
Nick, and Daniel is in AlphaTauri in in our lineup, alongside Gloon or Glon, depending on how you want to pronounce that. Glon being, of course, being a new driver we haven't seen before. Daniel we haven't seen before as well. So, like you said before in Challenger, for a few drivers in Challenger, fresh blood. I mean, it's gonna be a very, very close season from what it looks like. Not a lot of information from them, but they made Pro Tier, so I assume they're gonna be quick. I already know that I'm gonna have a difficult time fighting for points, but I'm enjoying racing at the moment, so as long as I get to battle people, it will be fun. But yeah, that's the AlphaTauri lineup. Not much to say about them. Imagine if it was actual Daniel Ricciardo in the AlphaTauri seat right there. Imagine. Imagine he did the sign up because he was bored being the third driver for Red Bulls. It's like, might as well do some league racing and F123. All right, moving on to the last.
Daniel just flipping jumps in the call at the end of the season. He's won the championship. It's like, get the shoeies in.
Oh god, I didn't do
Shoeies for
shoe
all.
last season, but yeah.
Albert Marco did want to get rid of him, but not that bad.
Move on to Williams. Two fresh new faces as well. I know that Rocco's raced one of them, which is the second driver. I'm gonna call him Christoph.
I crazy. Call my crazy.
Call him Christoph. That was the name he signed up with, but Rocco
Crazy.
wanted this name, so I'll call him Christoph. And fresh blood again. No information about them as well. All in all, I just look forward to race everyone. Hib.
But there's two eyes. Heap. High.
Right.
Something like that.
Anyways,
Wait, are you rabbits?
HB sauce.
right. So to summarize this grid, very close, just like Challenger 1.
Across both of them, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be very close next season, and I'm looking forward to commentating Challenger 1 if the opportunity arises. And yeah, it's just gonna be a very interesting season, difficult season for a lot of people, I can imagine. But Lars, I expect you to win alongside TC.
No pressure then.
Yeah, no pressure.
But like the only thing that would make this season better is if we were able to get bigger grids. Because I would have loved to have all 40 of these drivers on the same track.
NASCAR
Because,
style.
as you said in the time trials,
Yeah.
like, you know, even if you take them both together, there's only 4 seconds across the whole field, and that's just from time trials.
Yeah.
With which some people, let's be honest, they threw them in at the last second, like, Lepson and all. And we've already said that pretty much every driver on their day is rapid. So if you could have had every single one of these guys on the same piece of track together, it would have been amazing.
Yeah.
I know obviously it's not feasible, but it would have been amazing.
NASCAR style. Let's do it in IndyCar.
Yeah, the NASCAR style. We'll get a bit of bump drafting going on.
Yeah. Well, that is the stream. We have announced the lineup. We're gonna go through them.
The top 10?
in this second sequence again. The top 10. Yeah, go ahead.
So
it's
seat
number
number
one.
butcher your names. I'm gonna butcher your names.
You want me to
Sorry
read?
about that.
You want me to
No,
read?
it's okay. So first, Narstaya. Then following second, Defi. Third, Jan.
Dropping out.
Third is who, sorry?
Jan.
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 So that's pretty much Aston Martin here. First to third. Persigelli afterwards. Fifth, Rocco, the fellow admin, and unlucky driver. Sixth, Hib. Hib the rabbit, I guess.
Sixth?
Yeah, he's sixth.
Okay, suddenly he's not such a blank slate anymore. I'm scared.
Yeah. Seventh, have Spaghetti. Eighth, my teammates, ATK. Ninth, Mali. And 10th, to finish the top 10, Gamma B.
Rickety, you're not even making top 10 on the time trials. Oh,
Rickety is 15th.
I'm
With me
15th.
being
Yeah.
14th.
and Casper, where are you?
14th. I beat you. I
He's
beat
14th.
You. Yeah.
Beat him?
Yeah, I beat you.
Rickety, you got beaten by a controller player. Unacceptable.
And with
Bro.
automatic gears.
It's completely fine. I'm not gonna. I in last season's time trial as well, I didn't do great as well.
Yeah,
I know,
So
I know.
consistency
Time
is
trials
key.
are meaningless.
Exactly.
Time trials are meaningless.
Consistency is key. So all in all, thank you for joining us today, and we're just gonna run the second sequence again while you see the lineup for the final time. But finishing words from us. I am excited. Lars, how about you?
See you all at the finish line, and I will be there first.
And you, Katas.
Ah. Goodbye.
All right.
That wasn't a word, that was a stroke.
we're running
That's
through the
good,
last
indeed.
sequence again. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Heck yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.